Well, it's very unusual for a major incident to be declared. I, as Mayor, have declared a major incident because I'm concerned that the virus is out of control, but also that the NHS is at risk over the course of the next few days, couple of weeks, to run out of beds unless we see a reduction in the virus and a reduction in people being hospitalised. We're seeing across London now, not just 1 out of 30 Londoners having the virus. In parts of London, 1 out of 20 Londoners have the virus. And we're also seeing on a daily basis, not 5,000 calls a day to the ambulance service like we normally have, but between 8,000 and 9,000 calls a day to the ambulance service, which has meant we've had to divert firefighter drivers to drive ambulances. That's how bad. The two major consequences of me declaring a major incident is, firstly, it means that I can call upon the government to do additional things to support us in London. But secondly, it's a message to the London governance, but also Londoners, about how serious things are and why we need to take drastic action to stop the spread of the virus. So, for example, I've called on the Prime Minister's written to Boris Johnson to increase the financial support to those self-isolating, to discourage them from taking a risk to go to work because they can't afford to put food on the table, put a roof over their head. Also, to stop in London now collective acts of worship, which can still take place in London, congregational prayer. Also, to make it compulsory to wear a face mask, particularly in crowded places, and also to accelerate the rollout of the vaccine, which is crucial now to stop the virus spreading. Similarly, we've called upon all the London governance, whether it's councils, the fire service, the police service, the ambulance service, the NHS, to continue to do what we can to support the hospitals in the NHS, which, if not careful, they could soon run out of beds, and that's the real risk. Yeah, so my officials have been in contact today with government officials to see what they can do immediately to make sure that we understand the seriousness of this action. One of the things the government is doing is working with us to make sure we know whether vaccine is being rolled out. We need to know on a borough by borough basis, on a daily basis, whether vaccine is being rolled out, because we need to make sure in those parts of London where the virus is spreading rapidly, they get the vaccine first. A number of things have led us to me reaching this conclusion. The new strain of the virus, which is spreading rapidly. The fact that in parts of London, it's 1 out of 20 Londoners who have this virus. The fact that the NHS is at risk of running out of beds unless we have a reduction in the virus. The fact that we already have a virus out of control. But also, I'm now having to divert firefighters to drive ambulances because the ambulance service simply can't cope with the pressure. But I want Londoners to understand that I speak to NHS workers on a daily basis, often more than once a day. They're stretched. Many of them are suffering incredible stress. Many of them, I fear, are traumatized because of what they're seeing in units and wards across our city. They need our help. The best way we can help them is by staying at home.